Okay, guys, we are back with the Liars Society, and we are at chapter 34, Weatherby, the final chapter. There are a dozen news vans parked outside the school, just like Mom said that there would be, and I'm glad that she thought to lend me her big sunglasses for the ride. Just breathe, Mom says, her voice steady and calm as she turns our car into campus. I don't need to shift my gaze to know that we're surrounded. There are cameras pointing at us from every direction, and I feel the bright flashes, and I hear reporters shouting questions. Weatherby over here! How does it feel to be a Hunt? You're Boston royalty now. What's the first thing you're going to ask your dad to buy you? Weatherby, has your father contacted you? Did he steal the money? Genevieve, did you know where Yates is now? Why did Yates ever leave? My body goes stiff as shock to my system. I want to scream back at them, but I remember what Mom said, and immediately my mind goes to the water. I let myself float, bobbing along the waves as we passed through the gate. A minute later, I'm back in the car, and the mob behind us, a distant blur. We pulled up to the circle, and Mom puts the car in park and grabs onto my hand. Are you okay? She asks. I'm worried about you. I'm fine, I say, looking at Mom and trying to convince her. Really? Remember what I told you. You get to decide who you want to be. I squeeze Mom's hand. I already have. I'm someone who fights back against things that I know are wrong and people like Charles Hunt. Mom pulls me in, and I hold on tight to her. And when I walk into Butler House, the energy in the room shifts. I have a ripple effect. Everyone is watching carefully and whispering too loudly, even whenever they glance away and try not to be obvious. I can tell they're talking about me. I grab onto the sleeves of my new green jacket. Thankfully, I wore something that makes me feel like myself. As I head over to Jack, Iris, and Prescott, it starts to sink in that this is what it means to be a Hunt. Just another day at the Boston school, I say with a half smile. Prescott laughs. Good one. Iris bites her lip, like she's not sure she should ask. How'd it go with your mom? Enlightening, I say. We were right about everything. What about you? I ask, and I look around at them. Oh, I can't leave the house ever again, aside from school and temple, basically for the rest of my life, or at least until after my bar mitzvah. I'll try to work out the I'm a woman now in the eyes of the Jewish people angle, but things aren't looking great. And my parents are still out of town, Prescott says. They get back tonight. Yippee! We all look at Jack. He shrugs. Everyone at my house acted like nothing even happened. Is there a Huntism for that? Prescott asks. Boys will be boys. Jack says, keep it in the family. Iris rolls her eyes. A minute later, Teddy appears next to me. This is so exciting, she squeals. What do you even say whenever your friend finds out that she's the secret Hunt heiress? Congratulations. She hugs me hard. Thanks, I guess, I say back. Did you hear? We have assembly, first period. Teddy flips her hair, and it has to be good news about Hard Isle, she shrieks. We're finally going to get our hauls. I force a smile. Fingers crossed, I say, but there's no way. We can't go there now, and we know about the chemicals. In assembly, I sit between Iris and Jack, and as soon as everyone is seated, Dr. Fairview starts. Good morning. As you're probably heard by now, the money for the trip to Hard Isle has been located, and the investigation is officially closed. The missing money was all just a mix-up. A few kids cheer, and the room stirs with excitement. However, this morning the Department of Environmental Protection started looking into a concern on the island. I blink in shock, and my body goes completely still. My call to the DEP worked. They're investigating. Did they find the landfill? Are they going to clean up the chemicals and save Hard Isle? I turned to Jack, eyes wide. He looks calm, unsurprised, like maybe he already knew that this was happening. How? The plan is to fully remediate the area over the next 3 weeks and eliminate any safety concerns. The DEP has already started their work, and they have assured us that they plan to finish quickly without delays. As soon as we have approval, we'll be ready to leave. And I'll have more updates to share with you very soon. My brain spins with questions. Can they really make Hard Isle safe in a few weeks? Is Jack's dad in trouble? What happens now? For now, we're one step closer to Hard Isle. Dr. Fairview says, go well. We need to talk, I whisper to Jack as we stand up and file out of the meeting room. He nods. Yeah, we do. He glances around the crowd. Not here, he says, and gestures towards the door. After we grab our bags from the pile, we walk outside together down a path of purple and yellow tulips that are just starting to bloom. And we stop at a quiet spot where no one can hear us. And we drop our heavy backpacks. Out of nowhere, the sun feels stronger and warmer, like spring is finally here. What do you know? I blurt out, heart racing. Tell me. Jack picks his nails. Well, your call worked, he says. They sent a team out last night and found everything. My heart jumps into my throat. Does your dad know that I made the call? No, Jack shakes his head. I mean, he might suspect that it was one of us since we were on Hard Isle, but don't worry. I heard the lawyers strongly advising against trying to trace the caller's identity, because apparently the DEP called the EPA and the investigation is starting to spiral into something much bigger. They're looking into the area around the lake and the woods and all hunt international properties. My jaw drops. Heart hammering. Whoa. Yep, he says, this is for real. I take a deep breath and try to calm down. What's going to happen to your dad? I asked. Jack shrugs. He's been making bad choices for a long time, and it seems like he's finally going to have to face the consequences. Are you okay with that? I asked, because no matter what I think of Charles Hunt, he's still Jack's dad. Yeah, Jack says, his voice quiet and intense. I'm relieved that things are going to change and that people are going to stop getting hurt. He pauses for a beat. There's something I need to tell you. I look at him and wait. Spit it out already, I say. You're freaking me out. Jack takes another deep breath. Okay, so a few months ago, a delivery guy showed up at my house with this letter from Yates. Wait, what? I suck in my breath. That's right whenever his journal was dropped off for me. Jack flinches like that connection just took him by surprise. I hadn't put that together, but yeah, that makes sense. Both deliveries happened right after the competitors for the district regatta were in the paper. My mouth falls open. Yates saw my name, a Hunt name, next to Skip. Probably. I mean, that's how my dad put the pieces together, Jack says, and I think the letter that I got from Yates is actually about you. It took me a while to figure that out because the message is in code, and I'm not good at seeing all the details like you. Yates never says your name, but there's an anagram of your mom's name, and he didn't know about you. And now that he does, he's trying to contact your mom, and I'm pretty sure he wants to know you. I feel the spark of hope again, and I can't stop the smile that spreads across my face. My dad wants to be in my life, and he's fighting for me. He's been fighting for me. But the thing is, Jack's eyes flint around nervously, paranoid, and my pulse ticks up. I wasn't completely honest before about what happened whenever I got home, because keep it in the family, but your family. He swallows and looks down at his shoes. Before I got back yesterday, someone was sneaking around my room looking for something. They weren't obvious about it, but I have this secret compartment in my desk, and I tied a sheet bin to keep the top closed, and the knot only had one loop. I finished his thought. His eyes go wide. Exactly. He picks his nails again, and whenever I told Ford about the letter from Yates, he made me promise to burn it, and I told him that I would, but I didn't. And I guess he didn't believe me, because either he came home and looked to look for the letter, or he told my dad, and I'm pretty sure that they're not going to stop searching until they find it. I think there are more secrets, a lot more, bigger ones, and I'm pretty sure Yates hid them in this letter. My throat closes. Jack's dad, my uncle. Well, that's weird. He's scary, but I still don't know what my dad wrote, and I'm trying to figure out what he hid in the letter. Hand it over. Weatherby gives me a look. This is dangerous. We could just burn it, I say, bluffing. Too late for that, he says. I can't stop, and I need to know what else my dad is hiding. And then I'll try to solve the puzzle fast. And I promise to keep the letter safe. Jack hands me the envelope, and I tuck it inside my jacket. My dad keeps telling me not to trust you, he says. My mom said that your dad set mine up, I say. Jack looks surprised. I heard a different version of that story. Of course you did. I shake my head. I don't believe either of them. He nods. Same. And I'm sick of being lied to. Me too, I say. Before I realize what's happening, Jack is hugging me and I'm hugging him back. And it feels like family. We're about to walk to class whenever I notice the front pocket of my backpack is slightly unzipped. That's weird. I barely ever use that pocket. I reach down. My pulse jumps when I pull out a thick envelope. You got one, he says, looking startled. I turn over the envelope, and by the flap there's a wax seal embossed with a fancy crest in a deep green color. Same color as the Boston school insignia, except inside the crest, instead of a lion, there's a serpent coiled around a rod. I run my fingers over the seal. Is this an imitation from last air? A real one? The paper is beautiful, soft, and textured between my fingers, and the handwritten gold letters seem to melt like butter on the page as I read the words out loud. Trot, trot to last air. Play, play to win. Welcome, Miss Weatherby. This is the way in. Back to Hard Isle. There's more to know. Our game starts soon. Girl Hunt. Get ready to go. In trust. Last air. My heartbeat thickens. This has to be a mistake, I say. After everything I did, all the rules that I broke, there's no way I'd be tapped. Not a mistake. Jack shakes his head. You're a Hunt. I'm a Hunt, I repeat. I look back down and stare at the message on the page from last air. We're going back to Hard Isle. I keep looking at those words, and I blink as the letters start to move around in my mind. Last Air and Hard Isle both have 8 letters, and the same 8 letters, a secret society and their private island. Then I can see that there are words hidden inside the words Last Air is an anagram. I say, and so is Heart Owl. I'm seeing the truth clearly now, rearranging the letters in both, and you get the liars. Jack inhales sharply. They're liars. They want us to be liars too, I say. Jack stiffens. They want us to take the oath. I swallow hard. I bet Harper, Iris, and Prescott got tapped too. We need to find out what else that they're lying about, he says. We need to find out the truth, I say. All of it. Jack's eyes land on mine, and I know what he's thinking, even before the words are out of his mouth. Truth before trust, he says. I nod. Truth before everything. And that's the Liar Society.